Hey everyone, welcome back to Finance Explains, the place where we break down big financial questions into simple answers, one-on-one style. I'm your host, Abhi, and before we dive in, I just want to say a big thank you to the amazing people who subscribed. You all are the reason this channel keeps going. We're growing together, one curious question at a time. In our last video, we talked about why every country is in debt, and a bunch of you had great questions about money, investing, and the stock market. So today, we're going to answer something almost every beginner wonders. When I buy a stock, where does my money actually go? Does the company get it? Does it disappear into the void? Or does some rich guy in a suit just catch it in a briefcase? Don't worry. I'll break it down for you with real-life examples and a few laughs along the way. So if you're ready to learn something new and feel smarter than 90% of TikTok, let's go. Part 1. What happens when you click buy on a stock? So, you open your trading app, Questrade, Wealthsimple, Robinhood, whatever you're using. You type in a stock like Apple, hit buy, and boom. You now own one share of Apple. But wait a minute, what just happened? Did Tim Cook at Apple personally thank you and send you a thank you card? Does your money fly to Apple HQ in a golden envelope? Not exactly. Here's what really happens behind the scenes. When you buy a stock, your money doesn't go to the company unless it's during a special event called an IPO, which we'll get to later. Most of the time, you're buying the stock from another investor, just like you would buy a used car or concert ticket from someone else. There's no Apple employee sitting there saying, "Wow, Abhi just bought a share. Let's go build a new iPhone with his money." Nope. That share of Apple was already out in the market. So your money goes to the person who owned that share before you, another trader, investor, or maybe even a hedge fund. Think of it like this. Imagine Apple is a store that sold 1,000 iPhones years ago. Now, all those phones are out in the world, and people are just reselling them to each other on eBay. When you buy a stock today, you're basically on stock eBay buying from other people, not the original seller. So, unless you're buying during the initial public offering or IPO, you're not giving money to the company. You're giving it to someone who already owned the stock and wanted to sell. Make sense so far? Don't worry, we're going to dig deeper. Part 2. Who gets the money? Primary versus secondary market. Alright, so now you know when you hit buy, the money usually goes to another investor, not the company. But that leads us to two important terms you might hear in finance, YouTube, books, or even on CNBC. Primary market and secondary market. Let's break these down, beginner style. Let's start with the primary market. This is where the magic first happens. When a company like Tesla, Shopify, or even a new startup wants to raise money, they go public through an IPO initial public offering. That's the first time their stock is sold to the public. And here's the key. In the primary market, the company gets the money directly from investors. So if Tesla is selling shares at $100 each during its IPO, and you buy one, that $100 goes straight to Tesla's bank account to build cars, hire engineers, launch rockets. Okay, maybe not rockets unless you're Elon. Part 3. How stock prices move and where does the value come from? Okay, so now we know your money goes to another investor when you buy stock. But why does the stock price even change? Let's break it down real simple. And yeah, we'll throw in a little drama. Stock prices equals supply versus demand. Imagine this. News just dropped Apple invented a phone that floats in midair while making you pancakes. I mean, who wouldn't want that? Everyone rushes in to buy the stock. Demand goes up. Supply stays the same or drops. And boom, stock price goes up. On the flip side, let's say the CEO of a big company is caught doing something shady, or profits are lower than expected. Investors panic, start selling off fast. Supply shoots up, demand dries out. Price drops like your phone without a case. That's the core of it. Prices move because of people buying and selling. It's like an auction. The more people want in, the more valuable it becomes. But where does the value actually come from? Here's where it gets juicy. The stock market is basically people betting on the future success of a company. If you believe a company will make more money in the future, grow sales, pay dividends, expand globally, you're willing to pay more for their stock today. Think of it this way. If you buy a cow, it's not just the cow you're buying. You're buying all the future milk it's going to give you. Stocks are like that too. You're buying the future profits, growth, and potential success. But what if the company fails? Great question. If the company does badly, profits fall, debt piles up, people lose faith, the price drops. That's risk. That's the game. This is why people look at financial statements, earnings reports, leadership decisions, and global events like inflation, war, trade tensions, even TikTok bans. Yup, seriously. Because all those things affect how a company will perform. So here's the big recap. Stock prices move based on people's emotions and expectations. Value comes from future earnings and company potential. It's not magic. It's just human behavior and supply versus demand. All right, grab a coffee, hydrate, and meet me in the next section where we'll talk about how your investment affects the company's growth and even the economy. Let's go. Let's keep it flowing. Part 4. How your investment impacts the company and the economy. All right, let's make it personal now. You're not just clicking buy on a stock, you're becoming part of something bigger. But wait, if your money goes to another investor, how does your investment help the actual company? Let's break this down. The IPO, the first big party. When a company goes public, it's called an IPO. It means initial public offering. That's when the company actually gets your money in exchange for shares. That money is used to build factories, hire staff, launch new products, pay off debt. For example, when Facebook went public in 2012, they raised $16 billion. And boom, they expanded like wildfire. But here's the twist. Once the IPO is over, buying shares on the stock market is like trading baseball cards. The company doesn't get your money directly anymore, but it still benefits. Stock price matters to companies. Companies care a lot about their stock price. Why? Because if their stock price is high, it's easier to borrow money from banks. They can attract better talent, stock options. Anyone? They can raise more money by issuing new shares. So yes, your investment can still help the company grow, just indirectly. Now let's zoom out. The big economy. When people invest in businesses, companies grow. Jobs are created. Innovation increases. Governments get more tax revenue. That's why healthy stock markets equals healthy economies, usually. But when investors panic, like in 2008 or during COVID-19, stocks crash, businesses shrink, jobs are lost. See how tightly this is all connected? Let's go. The investor mindset. Think of yourself not as a gambler, but as a co-owner of a business. You're giving your money power, not just chasing hype. Because when millions of us invest, we fund progress. We support innovation. We build the future. Okay, that got kinda deep, Chowa. But you get the point. Next up, let's talk about stock market myths, like the rich always win, or you need to be lucky. We'll debunk them one by one. You ready? Let's go, baby. Part 5. Stock market myths busted. Okay, fam, now let's bust some myths that keep a lot of people stuck on the sidelines. You've probably heard these before. Myth number 1. You need to be rich to invest. Let's keep it real. This is just not true. With apps like Wealthsimple, Robinhood, or Questrade to my Canadians, You can start investing with as little as $1 or $5. In fact, some platforms let you buy fractional shares. You want to buy a piece of Amazon but can't afford $3,000? Boom, buy $10 worth. You're in. It's not about how much you have. It's about starting early and being consistent. Myth number 2. The stock market is just gambling. This one gets me every time. Gambling is based on chance. Investing is based on strategy and research. You wouldn't say buying a house is gambling, right? Same thing here. You're buying part of a real business. Yes, the price moves up and down, but over time, the stock market has historically gone up. Example, the S&P 500, the top 500 U.S. companies, has returned about 10% a year on average over decades. Myth number 3. The rich always win, the small guys lose. This one hurts because it keeps people from trying. Yes, the rich have more tools, but the stock market doesn't care about your last name. If you invest $100 or $100,000, you're getting the same percentage gains. In fact, some of the richest people started small. Look up Ronald Read, a janitor who became a millionaire investor by buying dividend-paying stocks and holding long-term. Truth. The earlier you start, the better. It's not about luck, it's about time and patience. Myth number 4. You have to watch the market all day. Nope, you don't need 6 screens like a Wall Street trader. Yum. Unless you're day trading, you don't need to check every 5 minutes. Long-term investing? Choose strong companies. Invest consistently. Check once in a while. That's it. Myth number 5. Now is not a good time. Here's a fun fact. There's never a perfect time. If you wait for the right time, you'll always be late. Study after study shows that time in the market beats timing the market. Even if you started investing during a bad year, if you hold long enough, you'll likely come out ahead. So let's wrap this section with this. Don't let fear or fake facts stop you. Start where you are. Learn, grow, and keep asking smart questions like you're doing now. Next up, we're going even deeper. We'll talk about how the stock market creates real wealth and how everyday people, like you and me, can build long-term success. Part 6. How the stock market creates wealth. All right, fam, this is the juicy part. Let's talk about how the stock market actually builds real wealth, not just for billionaires, but for regular people too, like me and you and your cousin, who still thinks Dogecoin is going to buy him a Lambo. So how does the stock market create wealth? When you invest in a company, you become a shareholder. That means you literally own a piece of that business. Now, there are 2 main ways you make money. Number 1, cheer, capital gains. This is when you buy low and sell high. Example, let's say you buy 10 shares of a company for $10 each, equals $100. 2 years later, the price goes up to $25 per share. Your 10 shares are now worth $250. You made a $150 profit. That's a capital gain. The longer you hold, the more that gain can grow thanks to our friend compound growth. We'll break that down in another episode too. Number 2, dividends. Some companies share their profits with shareholders in the form of regular payments called dividends. Example, let's say you own 100 shares of a company that pays a $0.5 dividend every quarter. That's $50 every 3 months, just for holding. Some people build entire retirement income streams off dividends. Bonus. You can reinvest those dividends to buy more shares, which means more dividends next time. This is called DRIP, or Dividend Reinvestment Plan. It's like a money snowball. But what about risk? Yes, there's risk. But if you invest wisely in good companies or low-cost index funds, and stay in for the long run, the odds are massively in your favor. Just look at the S&P 500. If you had invested $1,000 in 1980 and left it alone, you'd have over $100,000 plus today. No magic, just patience. Real-world wealth. Example, the power of consistency. Imagine you invest $200 month in a simple index fund earning 8% a year. In 10 years, you'd have over $36,000. In 20 years, over $100,000. In 30 years, almost $280,000. That's the power of compound interest, the eighth wonder of the world, as Einstein supposedly said. Also, the only thing stronger than my coffee in the morning. So what does this mean for you? You don't need to be rich. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start. Set up automatic investing. Even $50 a month. Don't try to time the market. Just give your money time in the market. In our next video, we'll break down compound interest and how to make your money work harder than you do. But hey, if this helped, let me know in the comments. If you're feeling pumped, hit that like button, like it owes you money. And don't forget to subscribe to Finance Explains 1-to-1. We're just getting warmed up. I'm Abby, and until next time, stay curious, stay smart, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.